Thank you for obviously coming along today. So just to reintroduce myself, my name is Adam Collins. I'm the creative director at a web design and digital marketing agency called CurrantWeb. We're based probably 10 minutes up the road in Electric Wharf. And what I wanted to speak today about with you guys was how to get online success for less for your business. And there's two sort of main reasons why I wanted to speak about that today. No problem. So there's two main reasons I wanted to speak about that today. One of the reasons was the fact that our business over the last 12 months has been making a massive shift in order to have a range of products to suit any business, no matter its size or its budget. And the reason we've been making that transition is because of number two, which is, of course, Brexit, which I'm sure you've all heard sort of mentioned over the last year or two, once or twice. So the reason we've been creating these products is because we're probably now living in probably one of the most financially unpredictable times in any of our lifetimes. And the reason it's probably different from sort of 2009 and the issues we had then is this time we're completely on our own. So small business owners don't know the challenges they're going to be facing in 3 months' time or in 6 months' time or in 12 months' time. So what that means is that there's going to be a massive... Yeah, come on, don't worry.
Thank you.
No, don't worry. There's always 2 or 4.
You didn't know what the room was. It was confusing.
It is pretty confusing, to be fair. What I was on about is Brexit. Businesses don't know the challenges they're going to be facing sort of over the next 12 months or so. One of the things which you guys can feel rest assured about, though, is if your digital marketing is on point, that you'll get a lot of business coming through your website. So through the sort of next year or 2 years, your small business isn't just surviving, it's thriving, and that's the most important thing, of course. So what I wanted to do today is break down the presentation into sort of 5 segments. The first segment I wanted to talk about myself, because obviously why wouldn't I if I've got a microphone, and sort of give you a little bit of a background about sort of my experience and the business I work with. The second thing I wanted to talk about was demystifying sort of the Google myths which are out there. And the reason I wanted to demystify them is because you get the questions over and over again. And if your mentality, if you have the mentality of some of these myths, then it can seriously harm you when you're looking to find a digital marketing supplier. The third thing I want to do, and this is going to get into sort of the nitty-gritty of the presentation, is give you sort of 5 easy-to-implement strategies, what you could literally go home today, implement into your website, and you'd probably see a result within 2 to 4 weeks, and you can literally set your business up to succeed locally online. The fourth I'm going to briefly touch on is getting the right website, because that's really important. There's no point getting a ton of traffic if everyone's just going to bounce off. And lastly, what I'm going to do is selflessly plug a free ebook and see if you guys can download this ebook from us, and then what I'll do is I'll probably call you up next week and try and sell you something shamelessly. So just to start, who am I? So again, to reintroduce myself, my name's Adam. I'm the creative director at CurrantWeb. My background's always been in web and technology. I probably started making websites when I was about 16 years old, and it was mainly sort of like, I saw myself as a little bit like a nerdy Dell boy, and I would sort of flog these websites to businesses. But what I did do is I learned how to build websites, how to work with small businesses, and how to get them success online. What I then went to do is I went to work for a leading digital marketing and web design agency based in Warwickshire, and I really learnt my trade there, learnt how to work with small businesses and how to maximise their budgets. So in 2014 I partnered with CurrantWeb, and the reason we did that, and since then both myself and the Current group have been working with small to medium-sized businesses on how to get the most out of their online marketing and also the most out of their online presence in general, really, and get as much return on investment as they can possibly get. So I think before we actually get too much into the presentation, I think one of the key things here today is to realise, like, I'm not trying to sell you anything. It's literally I'm giving you the information away for free. If I was going to try and sell you something, I'd probably put all of our testimonials up on the screen. There's lots of 5-star testimonials, or I'd probably get a free radio DJ to
JD, and I own a
Here's a
company called
testimonial.
Escape Live. Escape Live is an experience where you and your teammates are locked in a room. You have to find clues, codes and keys in order to escape before the time's up, and that's 60 minutes. And we have theme rooms in venues across the UK, including Fargo Village in Coventry, Southend-on-Sea in Essex, the Jewellery Quarter in Birmingham, and Stratford-upon-Avon, with more venues opening in 2019. Now, I met Currant and Adam through a recommendation. Our original conversation was talking about SEO and helping to make sure that our website is top of the search list when people search for Escape Live, escape rooms in the areas that we're opening. Now, we did that quite quickly, so we also explored other ways we could work together, and they recommended we update our website and make it better for the user and for SEO purposes. We did that, and they created an amazing website that's doing wonders for us at the moment. The reason we like them is because they're always there at the end of the phone or an email. They're always coming to us with new ideas and fresh ways we can keep the company looking fresh online and keep it top of that Google search. And I personally just want to thank Adam and the team for the work that they do, and long may our relationship continue.
So the reason why I wanted to show you that wasn't a selfless plug. It was to show you guys that we do work locally with some leading players, and we do get online success for our customers. So what I want to do now is sort of get ready into the presentation and just dispel a few quick Google misconceptions, which you've probably thought or had before. The first one is the fact that there's this red button, and a lot of businesses think that sort of digital marketers have this red button in which we can press and you just fire to the top of Google, and that we're keeping that away from you until you sort of fork out £400 a month with us. It's simply not the case. If there was a red button, I would probably not be here. I would be in the Bahamas somewhere, not worrying about whether it's going to snow outside. The second point is that SEO is a scam, and usually this misconception comes about because you've done it once, probably with a company which either undercharged you or didn't have the skill set to deliver it, and then you just sort of think that SEO is just a scam from then on. It's definitely not the case. There's brick and mortar businesses locally which are doing exceptionally well online just via SEO. The third thing is, often people get scared and think you have to be a techie. That's definitely not the case as well. A little bit of knowledge is great, but you can actually implement a lot of the things, the 5 principles which I'm going to put in place, you can implement all of those without really any technical knowledge whatsoever. And the fourth is that Google hates my business. Don't worry, they don't hate your business, they have no personal vendettas against you. It's just a simple case that there's something you guys don't know. And if you implement the fundamentals, usually you'll find that you will get results. So let's get into sort of the main nitty-gritty of the presentation. So the 5 local SEO strategies which we're going to cover. So sort of number 1 on our list, and it's so important and easy to do for you guys, is Google My Business. Now, Google My Business is basically an area where you can upload your business information, you verify your address, your telephone number, your email, your business name, and once verified, you get entered into what's called Google's Local Pack. Now, Google's Local Pack, you've probably seen, it actually appears above the organic search rankings. So when you're paying a company like me to do SEO for your website, we'll get you here. If you go into a local pack, something which you can do yourself, you can literally rank way above the organic listings, sometimes above the ads. It costs 0 money. The best way in order to influence the local pack to show you is to get reviews. Now, it's so important, but if you can see here, I've searched restaurants in Coventry, and you know, who would actually think that Falafel Corner in Coventry ranks top for restaurants in Coventry? You know, not some of the big brands, you know, not all those big players which probably spend thousands of pounds on marketing. Falafel Corner, and it's because they've got 210 5-star rankings. What an absolute sales pitch there. They're completely free. So what I'd encourage you guys to do is build these rankings on your Google My Business page. It will save you a ton of money. It will get you into those local pack listings. And like I said, Brexit, you're in, you're out, it doesn't really matter. People are still going to use Google, and if you come on top, you will definitely get a lot of business and traction from this. The second step which you guys should implement, it takes 2 minutes, is website contact information. Now, what you guys want to do is make sure that your business contact information is implemented both on your footer and on your contact page. Now, it seems such a simple thing to do. You think, oh, well, everyone knows where I am. Google crawls your website. Google crawls the footer of your website, your contact us page. if, when looking for a service provider and Google's crawling those websites, seeing who's relevant, it picks up the fact that your address is based locally to them, it gives you massive, massive positive effect in Google. The next thing you guys want to do is you want to, if you can, use Google's Schema markup for your address. Now, you will need to know a little bit of code in order to do this, but what you could do is just Google Schema markup generator online, and what it does is it wraps your business address in tags specifically which tell Google exactly what the street address is, exactly where you're based, exactly your company name, your telephone number, so Google isn't confused about anything. This is a massively important step, which often we see businesses which are based at different locations who have the wrong location on their website, and it's a fundamental flaw in local SEO. So the third part of our strategies is on-site SEO practices, and there's sort of what we're going to do. I mean, we could literally speak about this for hours and hours and hours. I'm going to cover 3 core fundamentals in order to get your website ranking. So one of them is page creation and keyword distribution, which I'll go into a little bit more in a moment. The second is content creation, and the third is meta tags and title tags. So first is looking at page creation and keyword distribution. So what we often find with service businesses is there's a temptation to put all of your services on one page. This is a massive, massive flaw. What you want to do is break your website down into a logical structure. So in this case, you would have your home page, service 1, service 2, and service 3. Then what that leads on to is keyword distribution. So I'm sure some of you have been around the scene for a while and know that if you put keywords in your content that you may come up in Google. By ramming too many keywords onto one page, what you basically do is you dilute the authority Google gives to you. So what you want to do is spread those keywords onto logical pages. So let's say a windows and doors company, maybe on the home page you would have double glazing, Coventry, and that's it. On the service page you'd have, let's say, UPVC doors. On the next page you'd have composite doors, Coventry. And what you then want to do is put together extremely high quality content. Now this, if anything, is probably the best gem I can give you, and most businesses completely ignore. You can do so much if you produce 500 or 250 to 500 words on the keywords you want to rank for. That's 500 for each of those individual pages. Now you want to write it. You don't want to write it for Google, so don't ram keywords everywhere. What you want to do is include the keyword, let's say 3 or 4 times through the text. You make sure you don't copy from any competitors. Google's algorithm now is smart enough to pick up duplicate content and just knock you off Google altogether. If you can, use H1 tags. Now, H1 tags are a way in code where you can define what is a heading of a page, and it carries a huge amount of website authority with it, and Google uses it extremely importantly. So if you guys can use H1 tags, if you have the ebook at the end, I'd show you exactly how to do these sort of tags. It will definitely help your local SEO. So the third part which we want to touch upon briefly is technical SEO. Rather than lecturing at you for ages about what these tags mean and all those sort of boring bits and bobs, probably more than likely you guys will be using either something like WordPress, which is an extremely popular content management system. Now if you're using WordPress, there's a plugin available called Yoast SEO. This plugin literally takes care of everything behind the scenes for you. It allows you to link up your webmaster tools, your Google Analytics, and it allows you to not need any code or coding knowledge to be able to change things like titles and meta tags. If you don't have a WordPress website, it's not the end of the world. You can still use and implement these meta tags yourself. Again, if you download the ebook which we've got, we literally give you an exact syntax and how to put together your titles and meta descriptions perfectly so they rank in Google, the right amount of characters and the things to do and not to do. The type of meta tags you want to consider is your title tag, which is the one which sits at the top of the tab. Again, massively authoritative in Google. If you put your keywords in there, you will see an increase in your rankings. The next one is a meta description tag. Unlike what a lot of people think, this carries 0 SEO weight, but is a massive sales pitch for your business. When someone searches for you or searches your service online, you will see that the title and meta description are there. The meta description should be you guys showing your unique selling points. your unique value proposition. That's what the meta description is for. Make it catchy, give away some form of an offer. The third meta tag is the meta keyword tag. If you guys are using this, just stop. It doesn't work anymore. It's a waste of time. All it does is show SEO companies exactly the keywords you're trying to rank for. So you can get rid of that. So the fourth strategy I wanted to speak about today is the Google Search Console. Now, this used to be called Google Webmaster Tools, and it literally takes 5 minutes to sign up to Google Search Console. What it will do is it's going to give you guys information on exactly the issues you have with your website in regards to performance, ranking, crawling issues. And what you will do is you can submit your sitemap, your website sitemap there. And if you keep track of this, let's say if you're doing a lot of SEO and you're not getting your Google rankings, or you're doing amazingly well and you see a massive drop in traffic, check your Search Console and it will come up with any information whether Google has penalized your website with any manual actions. If you have a manual action against you, you've got a massive uphill struggle. So there's no point continuing to invest in building backlinks and all the other aspects if you have a manual action. So it's worth checking out. The last and probably the most important aspect in regards to ranking your website is citations. Now, this has changed massively. If any of you have been around sort of the web at all, you'd have probably thought I'd have said backlinks, which are links from other websites to yours. Not with local SEO now. Citations are basically online references to your business. And these references are on sites like Yao.com, Yelp, Thompson Local, these sort of directories where people go and find these things and find reviews. These are what's called citations. And what it basically consists of is a name and an address and a phone number. But what you need to make sure is that you keep your business name, address and phone number consistent over your website, over your Google My Business page, and over every single citation you have. So what you don't want to do is have one address for on one website, one address for another, because it confuses Google as to what you actually want to rank for and where you're located. So this now has been, in 2018 and 2019, is a primary ranking factor for local SEO, and it's things you guys can do completely by yourselves. What I'm actually going to do is, because how do you guys find citations? How do you know where these exist? Again, in the ebook, we put 30 citations where you guys can sign up completely free without the need of any SEO or web design company charging you £400 a month. And you guys can sign up to that. All it takes is a bit of sweat equity from yourselves. You can implement them for yourself. And what you'll find, this isn't an instant overnight thing, but what you'll find is over the course of 3 to 6 months, your online brand locally is going to be building massively. So that was sort of the 5 SEO strategies I wanted to cover. I just wanted to briefly touch upon having the right website for your business, because there's no point ranking in Google if everyone comes to your website and just thinks, oh, what the hell is this? These scumbags are going to rip me off, or they're just going to take my card details and buy a load of stuff. So it's so important to have the right website. We sort of see 4 common websites or web design projects. One is Bespoke E-Commerce. So if you guys have got an e-commerce website, I would heavily suggest that you invest in this substantially, not with myself, but with the supplier, which has a proven track record on delivering revenue. I would not try and skimp and get an e-commerce website for £1,000, because corners would be cut. And if you do this correctly, this can set your business up to make hundreds of thousands of pounds per year, or potentially millions of pounds per year. So don't skimp on it. It's a salesperson which will work for you 24/7. The second type is, again, something we specialise in, is bespoke brochure websites. So this is where we'll sit down with you, you'll sit down with your web designer, and you'll go through sort of a design brief and a marketing brief, and then we'll put together a digital marketing plan to get you from sort of A in order to B and be successful sort of over a 12-month period. This, again, is an absolutely fantastic project to take on. It's something which we sort of recommend to you. Now, what I've actually done in this list, I'm actually going down in value, not in price, because when you're making an investment in a website, it's all about value, it's not about the cost. So the third is actually the cheapest on the list. This is the do-it-yourself builders, like Wix and Squarespace. People think often my business competes with these guys. It doesn't at all. These guys smash our business. The technology they have available for you guys to do these things yourself is completely unquestionable. The difference though with a project like this is it's very labour intensive for you guys. So it's whether you guys want to spend 30 or 40 hours faffing around with this sort of stuff, or whether you want to be able to pick up the phone and actually speak to a professional, because you won't. You'll be speaking to someone in a call centre, your issues take a long time to be solved, and that's the only downside with this. But if you're happy to do it yourself, absolutely great option, save your budget. The fourth and sort of final one, which the reason we've created this product later on, which I'll speak about, is to sort of avoid you guys going for this sort of product. So it is the cowboy websites. And by this I mean my brother's uncle's dog is a web designer and he's going to build me this WordPress website with all single or dancing features for £300. The reason you guys want to avoid these sort of ones is they're either going to outsource it at cut corners, or what they're going to do is they're going to, they're undervaluing their service. So it means they're taking on multiple of these projects a month and potentially they're going to go out of business. So what you want to do really is, if you are looking for a solution like that where you're looking for an agency to look after it, but you don't want to spend thousands of pounds per month, you should consider something like our pay monthly website service. What this allows you to do is it allows you to get a website built professionally by an agency like ourselves. But what we're doing is we created a selection of templates for you, foolproof templates with all the things we've mentioned before and already involved. And what you do is you simply pay a small marketing cost per month. So you pay £29 per month. It's less than the cost of a mobile phone contract. It's less than leaving here, going over to Tesco and doing your weekly shop. And you get all of the perks, all the whistles, all the, you know, it's all singing, all dancing. It's low cost. There's absolutely no contract involved. And what I wanted to do quickly is touch upon actually a story which happened this week to me. And it was a customer who signed up for one of these 2 months into the project. Loves it, gave us a testimonial. He's like, Adam, I'm closing down the business. I'm like, why, you know, what's up? What are you closing down the whole business for? He goes, my daughter's got leukemia. I was like, Jesus, close down the business. Now, that's fine. He can close it down. There's no repercussions. Imagine if he'd invested £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 in that, and 2 months down the line, you know, that sort of things happen. So this allows you a completely no-risk thing that if, for example, in 2 months' time or 3 months' time you want to trial it, and something happens, you guys haven't got to worry about, oh my God, I'm going to lose all this money, or, you know, I've invested all this cash in this, I can't do this. So it's a very, very low-risk way in order to get online and get established. So, yeah, you get the agency experience, so you can pick up the phone and speak to us, and Google friendly, and often they're live within 7 days because we're using a templated system. So, lastly, I appreciate all your time today. Just wanted to say a quick thank you to John, who's filmed this for me. So I really appreciate that. And I wanted to thank, obviously, the people for putting me on today, the Midlands Business Expo. The free ebook. So what I wanted to do is hand around an iPad, but as I'm not prepared very well, what you guys can do is you can come check out our stand. I think we're stand 21. You'll be able to see it. And we'll take your information and we can send you an ebook. The ebook, what it will include is all the information on Google My Business, all the information on website optimization, all the information on on-site SEO tips with all the code and examples. It's literally copy and paste. It's an absolute exact syntax. And the list of 30 citations for you guys where you can implement with your business without spending $1. Thank you. Appreciate it.